Hi, it's Mitch from Pickdawgz.com here with the free pick in the Butler versus St. John's college basketball matchup on Wednesday, February 28th, 2024. If you like all the free picks we do at Pickdawgz, you'll love our premium picks, our best bets. Use the discount code PICK for 15% off. Of course, we have products meant for people who make big bets, people with big bankrolls, people looking for one-on-one style service. Those aren't available on the website, though. In order to get those, you got to text the number that you see on the screen. So if you make big bets, text that number. But let's get to this one. Got Butler taking on St. John's. Butler 16-12 on the season. St. John's 15-12. Both these teams, I think, headed in the right direction. Of course, St. John's was coach firing bad last year. Now they got Rick Pitino in there. Rick Pitino's already talked about how it's going to be a little bit tougher this time around because of the transfer portal, because of image licensing, because of the inability, because of those two things, to build the culture. And that's what he's been able to do throughout the years in his coaching career, is build a culture by building a team through that. And we've seen him do that at Kentucky, Louisville, Providence, Boston University. This is where he's done it before. So Iona, we'll see if he can do it here at St. John's, but he seems to be a little bit skeptical himself. I think keeping those players there is going to be part of the process, and then getting players to come in that want to be part of the process. Meanwhile, Butler 16-12 on the season. This team hasn't been really relevant since the Brad Stevens era, and they're 11-4 at home at Hinkle, where this game, of course, takes place. Big East is just really, really tough this year. So when you see St. John's at 4-6 in their last 10, 3-7 against the number, it just goes to show you that, 1 point of, you can take 5 points and add it to a few of St. John's games, and they would have a totally different outlook on the season. These teams met just back on January 2nd. So it was a while ago. It was at St. John's, 86-70 in a very one-sided game, as St. John's is a 6.5-point favorite. The Johnnies have won back-to-back games, beating Georgetown and beating Creighton. Both those games, the Georgetown game was on the road. Creighton was at home. They had lost 3 games prior: Seton Hall, at Providence, and at Marquette. Of course, they had lost at UConn, beaten DePaul, lost at Xavier. They've had just, a tough stretch. I mean, it's the Big East, and every game is going to be tough. We see Butler playing against the same cast of characters, but they've lost 4 consecutive games: Marquette, Creighton, Villanova, and Seton Hall. They had a loss prior to that to UConn. They beat Providence, beat Creighton at Creighton, beat Villanova, Georgetown. So we've seen Butler certainly have what it takes to compete with these teams, and both these teams do. What we see from St. John's is their shooting is not great. Of course, Rick Pitino's teams aren't really based on that. They're based on just that overall system and the hustle, and of course getting those boards, and that is something that they do very, very well on the offensive end. You don't need to shoot at a high percentage if you get a lot of offensive rebounds. So if you get a lot of chances, the percentage doesn't really need to be that high. Defensively, they don't guard. St. John's doesn't guard the 3 very well. They guard the floor probably adequately at best. And on the defensive side, once again, they are solid on the boards. I think that this game's going to be competitive. Of course, Butler, got roughed up in the first meeting. I think they get a little bit of revenge here. Hinkle is a tough building. About a week and a half left to go in the season. A lot of finality setting in for some of these players. I'm going to take Butler, and that's going to be my free pick. Of course, while you're doing your picks, putting your bets in, use our free betting tools at sportschatplace.com. 100% free, and they'll help put you on the most favorable bets on the board today.